What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be discussing a Chicago Bulls and Houston Rockets injury update ahead of our game against each other. Now, at the end of the day, this is going to be a big game for both the Bulls and for the Houston Rockets. I do believe Houston right now just out of the play-in tournament. I don't necessarily think they could get back in, considering how late on in the season it is, and with all the injuries they have, it might be a bit of a difficult stretch for them. But for the Bulls, there's still a lot to play for. We're the 9th seed, we're trying to fight to the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference, trying to get that double chance and, try to get into the playoffs. That's the Bulls' goal at the moment. We are right in there. We want to make sure we continue to win. So not only we are closer to the 8th seed, but also to be worrisome and to, not be concerned about the teams below us trying to fight back in from the 10th seed to the 9th seed. So there's a lot for the Bulls to dissect here, and every single game is going to give us more clarity and more information about where the Bulls will finish this season. So there's a lot to get through. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Bulls, their injury updates, and who is likely to walk out of this game against Houston in Houston with a victory. Now, that being said, we will start off with the Bulls. Now, obviously, there are injuries that we already know of. We know about the Patrick Williams, Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball, and now Julian Phillips injuries. We know all about these guys and the injuries that they sustained, so I'm not going to really talk too much about that. But there's two injury concerns that we're going to talk about. One of them is actually an upgrade over the previous, couple of games where he missed as well. So without further ado, let's start off with Alex Caruso. He is listed as questionable to play with an ankle injury. Now, if you guys were unaware, in the last game against the Portland Trail Blazers, Alex Caruso did end up getting hurt in that game. Now, he did manage to pick himself up and finish the game, which is great. But you know how ankle injuries can sometimes be. Once you take the shoe off and all of the adrenaline falls, that's when maybe the swelling could pick up, and that's where the pain can really be. So I'm not necessarily too sure about what Alex Caruso is feeling and whether or not he will play. But what I do know is questionable is around a 50-50 chance. So there's a good chance he can play, but there's equally a good chance he could miss the game. Now, Alex Caruso is one of our best defenders. I think that is very clear. He provides some good offense from any given night. That's obviously clear as well. And we don't have much room for error. If you want to try to continue to win games as much as we possibly can, there's no room to make mistakes. There's no room to lose games. We almost lost that Portland game and we didn't. So hopefully with this game against the Houston Rockets, we can see Alex Caruso play and we can see the Bulls walk away with a victory. Let's turn to what's next, and that's Coby White. Coby White actually has a hip injury. If you guys have been unaware, over the last couple of games, he's missed the last few games for the Bulls. But there's an upgrade on his status. He's listed as questionable to play against the Houston Rockets. Now, questionable is 50-50. 50% chance he may play with a 50% chance he may miss the game. And that's the upgrade over the doubtful we have experienced from the Wizards and the Portland Trail Blazers game and everything in between. So, again, that's a big upgrade for Coby White. We could very well see him against the Houston Rockets. I'm not going to lie, I've missed Coby White. I've missed his three-point shooting. I miss what he could do on the defensive end. I miss his clutch factor as well. I think he brought a big clutch factor into games. Look, there's no secret. The Portland Trail Blazers game, Portland came back in the fourth quarter. You could make the case that if Coby White was there, we might have had a little bit more of a comfortable victory. But I guess that's an argument for another time. Whatever the case may be, he is obviously a big miss. He's been one of our better players this season, and I cannot wait to eventually see him return. Now, that's not to take away from what Ayo has done for the Bulls in, that point guard role since Coby White has been out. Ayo's done some very good things. He's had some really good games, in all fairness. And I like the development of both of these guys together. They play so well together, and they all obviously are multi-guards these days where they can do multiple things on the floor with each other, which is fantastic, and it helps the Bulls become more dynamic and can hopefully give us more victories. So it's going to be nice to see Coby White return to the Bulls sooner than later. And maybe that Houston game can be that sooner than later moment. Now let's turn to the Houston Rockets side of things. And there's quite a few injuries we've got to get through here. Some big ones as well. Obviously, we know about Steven Adams. He's been injured pretty much the entire season. From February 1st, there was an update that he got traded from the Grizzlies to the Rockets. He's going to be out for the rest of the season. There's a lot of people saying that he won't even come back to the NBA. I don't necessarily know about that. I feel like he will come back because I think he's a valuable piece when he does come back. It's as simple as that. The question with Steven Adams really is, how healthy can he stay? Can he continue to stay healthy once he gets healthy? I think that's always going to be the big issue with Steven Adams, but we'll have to wait and see when that time comes around. We got Tyree Eason. I do not know how to say this injury, so all I'm going to tell you is he's going to be out for 4 months. We wish Tyree Eason nothing but the best. Obviously, again, another player that the Bulls wanted in the draft, or at least Bulls fans wanted in the draft. He got picked at 1 pick before we could actually select him. And from then, everything was just, just a tad bit interesting. But again, still a player that I think Bulls fans still very like. We've got Sengun, who is going to be out for the remainder of the season, or at least is likely to be out for the rest of the season with a right ankle sprain. And it is grade 3, which means it's a very big ankle sprain. Now, that's probably the Houston Rockets' best player. When I look at Houston and how well they play, he's the guy that I turn to, and that's the guy that I'm worried about. I know Nikola Vucevic and Sengun has had good matchups in the past, and Vucevic could still have a good impact whether he was able to play or not Sengun, but again, that's a big miss for the Houston Rockets. He's a double-double machine. He's got very good skills. He can go out to the perimeter. He can shoot in the mid-range. He's got a post-game. He's very physical. I really like Sengun, and he's one of those players where maybe in the future there's a possibility he could be a Chicago Bull. That's what I hope, at least. Of course, we don't deal in hypotheticals, we don't necessarily deal in the future here, but it's a big miss for the Houston Rockets. And then obviously, last but not least, we've got Cam Whitmore, who is going to be out for about 3 weeks with a knee injury. So there's a lot of players, ladies and gentlemen, out for the Houston Rockets. Some very key pieces, and it's probably their best player out as well. So that does kind of put the Bulls in the driver's seat. Now, it's not necessarily because if you weigh up all the injuries, Houston has more injuries than us, because that's actually not true. We have more injuries than the Houston Rockets. But it seems like for the Bulls, they have managed to still do well while those players have been out. Again, or at least consistently, we've not been consistent. We've been inconsistent, but we can still win games with those guys out. We've won games with Pat out. We've won games with Levine out. We've won games with Lonzo out. We've won games with Kobe White out. So at the end of the day, it seems like we do better, or we deal better with injuries compared to some of the other teams out in the Eastern Conference and Western Conference. So I would still put the Bulls as the favorites to win. But of course, this is, in my eyes, considered a trap game, just like the Portland game, where everybody kind of expects us to win. We're fighting for something. We're fighting in the play-in tournament. So everybody will expect us to win this game. But if Houston bring their best, bring out all 4 quarters of action, this could be a game that the Bulls fall into a trap with. So we've got to make sure that we play our A game here. Again, no room for error. We'll see if the Bulls can get the job done. Thank you guys for watching. Drop a like and a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. I will see you in the next Bulls-related video. Have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.